From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, May 31st. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. As we honor our fallen service members, I know there will be many friends and families gathering today, and it should be a very nice day for it, and including a nice day for all those ceremonies being held across the area. We're going to start off clear, but some clouds will roll in mid-morning. Most areas stay dry and pleasant for the day with a high of 78. And this morning, Indianapolis 500 winner Helio Castronevez will celebrate his victory with a big check. The new four-time winner heads back to IMS to collect his prize money. Castronevez and his team are scheduled to take the traditional winning photo at the Yard of Bricks this morning. That 46-years-old Castronevez is the oldest Indianapolis 500 champion since Emerson Fittipaldi in 1993. He also joins an elite club, becoming the first to win for a fourth time in 30 years. A.J. Foyt, Al Unser Sr., and Rick Mears are the only other four-time winners in the Indy 500 history. Castronevez found himself in a duel with one of the young stars, Alex Palou. He passed Palou in the final laps of the race, beating him by 0.492 seconds.
It's really nice to see the fans, climbing the fans, celebrating. I did say probably some interviews before the race that I would love to have the fans climb with me, and that
happened.
They did. They made it happen. So they promised to give me a good car, and I said, all right. So if that's happened, we have a great chance, and just give me a chance to fight, an opportunity to be up there.
The top five finishers were Alex Palou in second, Simon Pagenaud ended in third, Pato Ward behind him, and Ed Carpenter finished fifth. And pit problems ruined the 500 for a handful of drivers. On lap 34, Stephen Wilson lost control and crashed into the pits. That was the end of his day. A couple laps later, pole sitter Scott Dixon's engine stalled and his team struggled to get it to restart, costing him a lap early on. He got back on the oval and finished 17th. Alexander Rossi had the same problem. He never managed to get back on the lead lap and finished 29th. Pit problems also ruined the day for Wish TV's driver analyst. Graham Rahal was in a great position to fight for the lead until one of his wheels fell off. News 8's Olivia Ray talked to Rahal about the unfortunate finish.
Cannot freaking believe it. You know, these days don't come around often, and I knew we were going to win that damn race. Famous last words, I guess.
Graham Rahal watched the final 81 laps here at IMS from his pit box because after what was building to be one of his best races in his 14 Indianapolis 500 starts, the wheels literally came off his number 15 Honda. And Sunday ends in heartbreak again for the Rahal Letterman Lanigan crew.
You could see the fuel game that we were playing. We were so far ahead of those guys. We were in such better position than those guys. I just can't believe it.
Rahal had led 8 laps already and was positioned with the same pit strategy as the winner. But a pit failure left Graham with a loose left rear tire and sent him into the wall in turn 2.
The spotter said there was a car in the wall kind of high. By the time I got there, he had come a bit more down the track and there was a flying wheel. So honestly, at that point, I was just kind of grateful that we dodged it.
You know, I'm really thankful for the other drivers for their quick reactions to not hit me because, you know, it could have been a lot worse today.
Grateful to walk away unharmed, but gutted that an unforced error ends a strong month in Indy, which unfortunately still leaves him hunting for that first 500 victory.
I mean, I'm proud of, you know, all the work that's gone in. I mean, everybody has worked their tails off to get us into this position. But they deserve better today, and, you know, we made a little mistake, and mistakes happen. Next year we need to not make mistakes. You know, if we want to win this damn race, we can't make mistakes, and that was a big one, unfortunately. But we just got to keep our heads down and focus on next year, I guess.
There's always next year, but until then, it's what could have been. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And IMS President Doug Bowles is reflecting on this year's race as he traditionally does by walking the front stretch. He posted a video on social media late last night. He says seeing fans back in the stands overjoyed him and all of the track staff.
For each of you, and certainly for us last year, 2020 was difficult not having fans here. And while
We didn't have everybody here this year. We did have quite a few of you. The crowd energy level was as high as I've ever felt it. It was amazing to see all the smiling faces and the people who were just happy to be back at this place we love so much called the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
IMS officials are hoping for a full house next year. Owner Roger Penske released a statement thanking fans for all their support over the last year. He wrote in part that he was proud that the race will help our country keep moving forward. And this year's race was capped to 40%, or 135,000 fans. News 8's Demi Johnson talked with people at the race who felt like the track was back to normal.
A sea of race fans step towards Speedway history.
There's nothing like race day. There's nothing like coming down here. Indy 500 Sunday, nothing like it.
A feeling fans missed out on last year, but in 2021 they returned to the track in person. Even with the crowd being capped at 135,000, the Indy 500 was the largest sporting event in the world since the COVID-19 pandemic.
I was worried there wasn't going to be enough people here, but it was great. So I thought they did a wonderful job and the race was outstanding.
Marion County's mask mandate was still in effect and other safety protocols in place. But for the most part, people say the track didn't seem strict on enforcement.
Well, it looked like COVID never happened. Everyone walking around with masks off, just enjoying the good time. No, it looked like it never happened.
You know, there's more like hand sanitizers, like washing your hands and kind of stuff like that, but I don't feel like it was so forced that it made you uncomfortable.
Fans we talked to hope the loosened rules don't create setbacks for future events. They say they're ready for the race to go back to full capacity.
Waited a long time to come back. Yeah, that was good.
I think it's going to be a good start to the year and to the summer, and hopefully we can just continue to push forward and be able to enjoy stuff like this for the rest of the year.
That was Demi Johnson reporting, and fans say that they did notice the biggest difference on the streets. They say fewer fans outside the speedway allowed for traffic to move smoothly. President Biden honored Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice during a Memorial Day service in Delaware. He marked his first Memorial Day weekend as Commander-in-Chief by honoring the nation's sacrifices in a personal way. He spoke about the pain of losing a son or daughter.
I know how much the loss hurts. I know the black hole that leaves in the middle of your chest. It feels like you may get sucked into it and not come out. Greetings like this in gatherings help. And while I know nothing I can say to ease the pain, I just know that each year it gets a little bit easier.
Prior to the memorial service, Biden visited the grave of his son, Beau, who was a veteran who fought in the Iraq War. And today there's a special Memorial Day ceremony for Gold Star families in Fishers. The city will be honoring the service of men and women who've made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. The in-person ceremony starts this morning at 10 at Fishers City Hall. It's free and open to the public. It'll also include a flyover. Masks are recommended if you are not vaccinated. And on this Memorial Day, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is calling attention to the tragedies of veteran suicide. The former South Bend mayor served as a Navy lieutenant. He says it's important to check in on veterans who returned from service.
And it's a reminder that you never know what somebody's up against, that mental health struggles are real and need to be addressed, and that it's never a bad time to check on somebody you served with or to check on somebody you cared about.
Buttigieg says today is also an opportunity to remember frontline workers and their fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. We now know the name of the man accused of shooting an IMPD officer and two other people over the weekend. According to police, Keith Allender shot a man and a woman on Keystone Drive on the northwest side Saturday. Police say one of the victims had a toddler in her car at the time. Allender is accused of hitting a woman with an SUV while leaving the scene. IMPD says he led them on a chase during the time. Investigators say they think he shot at 3 different cars. IMPD says Allender then shot an officer multiple times before he was arrested. That officer has since been released from the hospital. Allender's facing several charges, including 3 counts of attempted murder. And Indianapolis police believe a woman found dead inside a car was shot. IMPD found the woman around 6 last evening at the Latitudes Apartments, that's on the southeast side near Combs and County Line Roads. Investigators haven't released any details about that woman, a possible suspect, or what led up to the shooting. And friends and family remembered Chris Beatty 1 year after he was shot and killed the night of the downtown riots. It was during a robbery. A crowd gathered where the shooting happened, released balloons in his memory. Beatty was a former IU football player and a beloved member of the Indianapolis community. Beatty's family spent the weekend remembering him. On Friday, they hosted a golf outing to benefit the Chris Beatty Foundation. The foundation provides scholarships to his alma maters. One is for football players at IU, and the second is for a student at Cathedral High School. And police in Miami are looking for the suspects who opened fire at a club, killing 2 people and injuring 20 more. Melissa Rainey reports police believe the shooting to be a targeted act.
A violent holiday weekend in South Florida. In the early morning hours Sunday, police say a white SUV pulled up to a club in Miami-Dade County and 3 people opened fire on the crowd standing outside.
3 subjects stepped out of the vehicle with assault rifles and handguns and began shooting indiscriminately into the crowd, of which we believe is a targeted act of gun violence.
That apparent targeted act left at least 2 people dead and 20 more hurt. Victims were rushed to several different hospitals, some in personal vehicles.
My son was hit once in the abdomen area, and then my nephew, cousin, he was shot, grazed in the abdomen and 3 times in the leg.
Miami's police chief says the shooting's an example of how gun violence has gotten out of hand recently.
That's the second shooting in the greater Miami-Dade area. We had our own shooting the night before where 7 people were shot and 1 dead. So that's 30 shot, 2 dead in the greater Miami area, Metro-Dade area, Miami-Dade area. And it's just an indication of the problem we have with the scourge of gun violence in this country.
Authorities are asking people with information about either shooting to come forward. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
And this morning, the CDC reports 41% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated. According to the agency, 51% of people have at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. President Biden set a goal of getting that number to 70% of adults by July 4th weekend. And there's another deadline looming to determine how COVID-19 started. The president gave the intelligence community 90 days to dig deeper and report back. Britt Conway explains health experts say we need to know where the pandemic began to keep it from happening again.
Understanding where COVID-19 came from.
It's absolutely essential.
It informs how we go forward and how we prepare ourselves against these threats in the future and reduce these likelihoods.
Did it come from an animal in the wild, or from one of China's wet markets, or from a lab like Wuhan's Institute of Virology, where researchers were looking at bat virus mutations? These doctors say getting an answer is critical. If it's from a lab,
it's going to affect how we respond to this. We're going to need to focus on trying to get better controls in this sort of high-risk research going forward.
And there's the fear history will repeat itself.
Mother Nature is telling us what's going to happen. There's going to be COVID-26 and COVID-32 unless we fully understand the origins of COVID-19.
President Joe Biden ordered the intelligence community to redouble its efforts in investigating the origins, with a top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee alleging this about the lab leak theory.
This is the worst cover-up in human history that we've seen, resulting in 3.5 million deaths.
Though there's still no evidence, which is why there are calls for an outbreak investigation in China. But at this point, China is refusing full access to the lab and its records. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
President Biden has plans to meet with Republican negotiator Senator Shelley Moore Capito this week. And the Indianapolis Department of Public Works is reminding customers that curbside recycling and trash pickup will be on a slide schedule this week. That means if you'll need to put your bins out a day later than normal. All trash services will return to normal next Monday, June 7th. And pools in Johnson County are opening for Memorial Day weekend. Freedom Springs Aquatics Park and the Edinburgh Aquatic Center opened their gates on the 29th. The Franklin Family Aquatic Center opened last weekend. The pools plan to have some restrictions in place this season. Now, the Franklin Pool says guests can expect plexiglass at concession stands and social distancing. Freedom Springs says it will require unvaccinated people to wear masks at the facility. Have a wonderful Memorial Day, everyone, and take a moment to thank those who did give the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.